What if the next 6 months held the key to the life you've always envisioned? Picture this vividly. At this very moment, you find yourself at a pivotal crossroads in your journey. The habits you've cultivated, the mindset you've nurtured, and the choices you've made, both deliberate and incidental, have led you precisely to where you stand today. Yet, what if I told you that in a mere half year, through a blend of focused intention, unwavering commitment, and consistent effort, you could step into a version of yourself that is not just incrementally better, but profoundly transformed, stronger in resolve, more purposeful in direction, and deeply aligned with the aspirations that once felt distant or unattainable. This isn't the stuff of fairy tales, nor does it demand grand, sweeping gestures or the pursuit of overnight miracles. No, true and lasting change emerges from the quiet power of deliberate daily actions, small choices that, when compounded over time, yield extraordinary results. It's the principle of incremental progress, much like the way a single seed, nurtured consistently, grows into a mighty oak. I've witnessed this firsthand in the lives of countless individuals who've applied these principles. Professionals who've climbed career ladders they once deemed unreachable, parents who've reclaimed balance in their hectic worlds, and dreamers who've turned vague hopes into tangible realities. Today, I'm thrilled to guide you through a proven framework designed specifically for this 6-month horizon. We'll explore 8 essential strategies, each one a cornerstone of personal reinvention. These aren't fluffy platitudes or generic advice recycled from self-help aisles. They are battle-tested steps distilled from the real-world experiences of those who've boldly rewritten their stories. From entrepreneurs who've scaled businesses amid chaos to athletes who've shattered personal records, these strategies have proven their mettle time and again. By the time we reach the end of this video, you won't just feel inspired. You'll walk away with a crystal-clear roadmap, actionable steps you can implement starting today. You'll know exactly how to chart your course, sidestep common pitfalls, and build momentum that carries you forward. So, settle in, grab a notebook if you can, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Strategy 1. Define your North Star goals. At the heart of any meaningful transformation lies clarity, a luminous beacon that cuts through the fog of indecision and distraction. Without it, we meander through our days, buffeted by the winds of circumstance, merely reacting to life's demands rather than proactively shaping our destiny. Think of it like navigating a vast ocean. Without a fixed point on the horizon, even the strongest vessel drifts aimlessly. So let's begin here, at the outset of your 6-month odyssey, by anchoring yourself with intention. Start with a simple yet profound question. What 3 specific outcomes do I crave in the next 6 months? Be ruthlessly precise. Is it advancing your career? Perhaps securing a promotion? Launching a side project? Or acquiring a high-impact skill like data analysis or persuasive writing? Or maybe it's revitalizing your health, shedding those stubborn pounds, building a consistent fitness routine, or mastering stress management to reclaim your vitality. It could even be nurturing deeper connections, strengthening bonds with family, fostering a supportive friendship circle, or reigniting the spark in a long-term relationship. This isn't the stuff of fairy tales, nor does it demand grand, sweeping gestures or the pursuit of overnight miracles. No, true and lasting change emerges from the quiet power of deliberate daily actions, small choices that, when compounded over time, yield extraordinary results. It's the principle of incremental progress, much like the way a single seed, nurtured consistently, grows into a mighty oak. I've witnessed this firsthand in the lives of countless individuals who've applied these principles. Professionals who've climbed career ladders they once deemed unreachable, parents who've reclaimed balance in their hectic worlds, and dreamers who've turned vague hopes into tangible realities. Today, I'm thrilled to guide you through a proven framework designed specifically for this 6-month horizon. We'll explore 8 essential strategies, each one a cornerstone of personal reinvention. These aren't fluffy platitudes or generic advice recycled from self-help aisles. They are battle-tested steps distilled from the real-world experiences of those who've boldly rewritten their stories. From entrepreneurs who've scaled businesses amid chaos to athletes who've shattered personal records, these strategies have proven their mettle time and again. By the time we reach the end of this video, you won't just feel inspired, you'll walk away with a crystal-clear roadmap, actionable steps you can implement starting today. You'll know exactly how to chart your course, sidestep common pitfalls, and build momentum that carries you forward. So, settle in, grab a notebook if you can, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Strategy 1. Define your North Star goals. At the heart of any meaningful transformation lies clarity, a luminous beacon that cuts through the fog of indecision and distraction. Without it, we meander through our days, buffeted by the winds of circumstance, merely reacting to life's demands rather than proactively shaping our destiny. Think of it like navigating a vast ocean. Without a fixed point on the horizon, even the strongest vessel drifts aimlessly. So let's begin here, at the outset of your 6-month odyssey, by anchoring yourself with intention. Start with a simple, yet profound question. What 3 specific outcomes do I crave in the next 6 months? Be ruthlessly precise. Is it advancing your career, perhaps securing a promotion, launching a side project, or acquiring a high-impact skill like data analysis or persuasive writing? Or maybe it's revitalizing your health, shedding those stubborn pounds, building a consistent fitness routine, or mastering stress management to reclaim your vitality. It could even be nurturing deeper connections, strengthening bonds with family, fostering a supportive friendship circle, or reigniting the spark in a long-term relationship. This isn't the stuff of fairy tales, nor does it demand grand, sweeping gestures or the pursuit of overnight miracles. No, true and lasting change emerges from the quiet power of deliberate daily actions, small choices that, when compounded over time, yield extraordinary results. It's the principle of incremental progress, much like the way a single seed, nurtured consistently, grows into a mighty oak. To make this actionable right now, pause the video and spend 5 minutes jotting your 3 SMART goals. Share one in the comments below. What's your North Star? Remember, clarity isn't restrictive, it's liberating. It frees you to say no to the irrelevant and yes to what truly matters. Strategy 2. Architect your morning ritual. They say the first hour of your day casts a shadow over the remaining 23, or more optimistically, it ignites a dawn that illuminates the path ahead. High achievers, from CEOs to Olympians, don't leave this golden window to chance. They meticulously design it as the launchpad for their success. In a world that bombards us with notifications and urgencies from the moment our eyes open, reclaiming your mornings is an act of sovereignty, a deliberate choice to prioritize creation over consumption. Commit to rising just 30 minutes earlier than your current norm. If that feels daunting, start with 15 and build incrementally. Consistency trumps perfection every time. This sacred hour becomes a fortress of non-negotiables, impervious to the chaos beyond. Allocate the first 10 minutes to meditation or deep breathing. Sit comfortably, eyes closed, and focus on your breath. In through the nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, out through the mouth for 4. This isn't woo-woo mysticism. It's neuroscience-backed practice that quiets the amygdala's alarm bells, reducing cortisol spikes and fostering a centered mindset. Apps like Calm or Insight Timer can guide beginners, but even silent awareness works wonders. Next, invest 20 minutes in movement to awaken your physical vessel. It needn't be a grueling gym session. Opt for what resonates: a brisk walk under the morning sky, gentle yoga flows that stretch away yesterday's tensions, or bodyweight circuits like squats, push-ups, and planks. The goal is to flood your system with endorphins, sharpen cognitive function, and signal to your body that energy, not inertia, defines this day. Science supports this. Studies from the American Journal of Physiology show that morning exercise enhances metabolic rate and mood regulation throughout the day. Conclude with 10 minutes reviewing your North Star goals from Strategy 1. Read them aloud, affirming their inevitability. Glance at your calendar, prioritizing the top 3 tasks that propel you forward. Crucially, banish your phone during this ritual. Place it in another room if needed. Silence is your most potent ally here, allowing thoughts to settle like sediment in clear water. Why does this matter? This ritual isn't isolated, it's a momentum multiplier. It instills discipline that permeates your evenings, sharpens focus during work hours, and buffers against afternoon slumps. Over 6 months, what begins as a gentle nudge evolves into an unbreakable groove where mornings cease to be chores and become cherished ceremonies of self-mastery. I've seen skeptics transform. One viewer, a harried marketing executive, shared how her ritual turned chronic overwhelm into peak productivity, landing her dream client within 4 months. Your challenge? Tonight, set your alarm for tomorrow's dawn. Experiment for a week, then tweak. Mornings aren't for scrolling feeds or sipping coffee on autopilot. They're for forging the architect within. How will you design yours? Let's discuss in the comments. Strategy 3. Purge the energy drains. In the grand theater of personal growth, distractions play the role of insidious villains, silent thieves that pilfer our focus, vitality, and precious time without a whisper of remorse. They masquerade as harmless indulgences, the endless scroll through social media timelines, the lingering in toxic conversations that drain rather than uplift, or the cluttered spaces that mirror and amplify inner chaos. Left unchecked, these energy vampires compound, leaving us exhausted before the real work begins. The antidote? A resolute purge, a distraction detox that reclaims your bandwidth for what truly fuels progress. Begin with a thorough audit of your life, as if conducting a forensic review of your daily ecosystem. Over the next 48 hours, track your time. Use a simple app like Rescue Time or a notebook to log every activity in 15-minute increments. Ask probing questions. Which habits pull me backward? Is it the 45 minutes lost to Instagram Reels that spark envy rather than inspiration? The lingering and toxic conversations that drain rather than uplift? Or the desk buried with papers and gadgets, a visual cacophony that scatters your thoughts? Be honest. No judgment, just observation. Once identified, act decisively. For digital drains, implement app limits via your phone's built-in tools. Cap TikTok at 20 minutes daily, or use Freedom to block sites during peak focus hours. Curate your feeds ruthlessly. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison. Follow creators who educate and elevate. In your physical world, declare war on clutter. Adopt the KonMari method, asking of each item, does this spark joy or utility? Donate, recycle, organize. For relational toxins, set gentle boundaries, like, I appreciate your perspective, but let's pivot to solutions, or schedule interactions sparingly. But purging isn't mere subtraction, it's strategic addition. Fill the voids with high-octane fuel. Swap mindless scrolling for a leadership podcast like The Tim Ferriss Show, where episodes unpack the rituals of icons like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Replace draining dialogues with invigorating walks in nature. Studies from the University of Michigan reveal that just 20 minutes outdoors boosts creativity by 50%. Over 6 months, this detox doesn't just free hours, it transmutes scattered energy into a laser beam of progress. Imagine, those reclaimed 90 minutes daily compound over 270 hours, enough to master a language, write a business plan, or simply breathe deeper. Consider the story of Sarah, a teacher I coached. Overwhelmed by lesson planning and family demands, her audit revealed 2 culprits: doom-scrolling news and a cluttered home office. After a 30-day purge, she reported sleeping better, grading papers faster, and even starting a side blog on educational innovations. Her energy, once depleted, now overflowed. Your immediate step: list your top 3 drains today and 1 action to neutralize each. Share yours below. What's one thief you're evicting? This purge is your declaration of worth. You deserve a life unencumbered, primed for propulsion.
Strategy 4. Cultivate a growth library. Knowledge, in its purest form, isn't a passive spectator sport. It's the most potent accelerator in your arsenal of transformation, a dynamic force that propels you beyond plateaus and into realms of innovation. In an era where information flows like an endless river, the difference between stagnation and evolution lies in curation and application. Dedicating just 20 minutes daily to this pursuit isn't a luxury, it's an investment with exponential returns, compounding wisdom that reshapes how you think, decide, and create. Curate your library with intention. Stock it with books that stretch your intellectual and emotional horizons, targeting themes like resilience, productivity, and creativity. For resilience, James Clear's Atomic Habits is indispensable. Its core thesis that tiny changes yield remarkable results mirrors our 6-month framework. Clear writes, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Let that sink in. It's not willpower alone that wins the day, but engineered environments. On innovation, Clayton Christensen's The Innovator's Dilemma dissects how disruptive thinking upends industries, perfect for entrepreneurs eyeing breakthroughs. But reading is only the gateway. True power lies in reflection and ruthless application. After each session, journal one key insight. What resonated? Why? Then test it immediately. Read a chapter on habit stacking from Clear? Stack a 2-minute journal entry onto your morning coffee ritual today. From Christensen, glean a lesson on questioning assumptions. Apply it to your next team meeting, proposing a bold pivot. This active synthesis turns passive consumption into embodied mastery. Over 6 months, this habit isn't linear, it's multiplicative. Those 20 minutes daily accumulate to over 120 hours, enough to devour a dozen transformative tomes. You'll notice shifts. Decisions become swifter, laced with nuance. Conversations deepen with borrowed wisdom. Ideas spark like fireflies in the night. Books cease to be escapes from reality. They become blueprints for architecting it. Recall Oprah Winfrey's ascent. Her voracious reading in youth forged an empire. As she once shared, "Books were my pass to personal freedom." To elevate this, join a book club or online forum like Goodreads for accountability. Discuss insights, challenge interpretations. Your challenge? Select one book this week, read the first chapter tonight, and journal your takeaway. What's on your growth shelf? Drop it in the comments. This library isn't shelves of dust gatherers, it's a living archive of your becoming. Strategy 5. Forge your circle of elevation. The timeless adage rings true. You are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. This isn't hyperbole. It's social osmosis, where attitudes, ambitions, and energies seep across boundaries, subtly sculpting your own. To elevate your trajectory over 6 months, you must intentionally curate this circle, seeking out those who challenge your complacency, ignite your inspiration, and amplify your potential. Conversely, it demands compassionate boundaries with influences that dim your inner light. Identify your ideal allies, mentors who've walked paths you aspire to, perhaps a seasoned executive in your industry or a wellness coach radiating the vitality you seek. Peers who match your drive, fellow creators in online communities like LinkedIn groups or Reddit's r/getmotivated. Doers who embody action over aspiration. This week, take a tangible step. Attend a virtual webinar, join a mastermind via platforms like Meetup, or slide into DMs with a polite outreach. "I admired your recent project on sustainable tech. I'd love your thoughts on my goals." Once connected, share vulnerably. Articulate your 3 North Star goals, inviting their input and accountability check-ins. "Hold me to this. Weekly updates on my progress?" This reciprocity builds bonds stronger than steel. On the flip side, assess current ties. Does time with certain friends leave you energized or enervated? Nurture boundaries gracefully. I'm focusing on growth right now. Let's catch up in a month. Without guilt. Quality trumps quantity. A handful of elevatory souls outshines a crowd of mediocrity. In 6 months, this network evolves from acquaintances to catalysts, unlocking doors via introductions, collaborations, and shared wisdom. Picture it. A mentor's referral lands your promotion. A peer's brainstorm refines your side hustle into a 6-figure venture. Research from Harvard's grant study underscores this. Strong relationships are the strongest predictor of long-term happiness and success. One example, tech founder Elon Musk credits his early circle of innovators for SpaceX's genesis, crediting collective brainstorming for reusable rockets. Your action? Reach out to one person today. Who will you elevate, and who will elevate you? Share in the comments. This circle isn't casual. It's your chosen tribe, forging paths where none existed. Strategy 6. Measure and momentum. What gets measured gets managed, and what remains unseen festers in doubt's shadow. Tracked progress, however, kindles an unquenchable fire, turning abstract ambitions into visceral victories. In our 6-month blueprint, this strategy serves as your compass and chronicle, ensuring every step is intentional and every detour is a lesson, not a defeat. Establish a rhythm. Every Sunday evening, carve out 30 minutes for reflection. Review the week through targeted lenses. What actions advanced my North Star goals? A completed negotiation course? 3 networking coffees? Conversely, what required adjustment? A derailed workout streak due to travel? Use a simple journal or app like Day One or Notion to log wins, however modest, like nailed that presentation, felt the confidence surge, or walked 10,000 steps despite rain, resilience building. Celebrate these milestones deliberately. They're neural architects, reinforcing success pathways in your brain via dopamine rewards. A post-review treat, like a favorite playlist or herbal tea ritual, cements the association. If falters appear, pivot with grace. No self-flagellation, just curiosity, like what systemic tweak, like pre-packing gym clothes, prevents this? This weekly write transforms guesswork into governance. You're no longer adrift, but at the helm. Over 6 months, your logs become a tapestry of evolution, a testament to disciplined alchemy. Those early scribbles of struggled with focus morph into led team workshop flawlessly. Data from habit expert BJ Fogg boosts adherence by 300%. Imagine reviewing April's entries. Patterns emerge, accelerations clarify, inspiring a bolder Q2. True story, Alex, a freelance writer, started weekly logs amid burnout. By month 3, tracked word counts tripled, leading to a book deal. Your step? Set a recurring Sunday reminder now. What's one win you'll track this week? Comment below. Measurement isn't drudgery, it's the spark that sustains your flame.
Strategy 7. Embrace the forge of discipline. True growth doesn't bloom in comfort's garden. It is hammered out in the forge of discomfort, where resolve is tested and tempers strengthened. This strategy demands you lean into the friction daily, selecting one hard thing that stretches your edges, a deliberate confrontation with inertia that rewires your capacity for resilience. Choose wisely, but start accessibly. A cold shower to jolt complacency, plunging into icy waters for 30 seconds to build mental fortitude, or a difficult conversation, addressing that unresolved tension with a partner, framing it with "I feel," "I need," to foster clarity. Perhaps acquiring public speaking prowess. Join Toastmasters, or record a 3-minute video on your phone, critiquing playback mercilessly. The key? Consistency over intensity. Daily, without exception, even if scaled down on weary days.
This isn't sadistic endurance, it's mastery in motion. Each act disrupts the brain's default aversion to effort, forging new pathways via neuroplasticity. As David Goggins, ultra-endurance icon, asserts in Can't Hurt Me, the most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you'll have with yourself. Over time, I can't transmutes to watch me, birthing unbreakable confidence. In 6 months, these micro-victories accumulate like compound interest. The cold showers evolve to ice baths, stilted talks to eloquent keynotes. Limits once ironclad shatter under action's hammer. Athlete Michael Phelps embodied this, enduring grueling laps that birthed 23 Olympic golds. Challenge: pick your hard thing for tomorrow. Announce it in comments. Embrace the forge. It's where diamonds are made. Strategy 8. Engineer your unbreakable routine. A well-engineered routine isn't a cage of rigidity. It's a scaffold of liberation, freeing cognitive resources for creativity while channeling ambition into seamless flow. This capstone strategy integrates the prior 7 into a daily blueprint, turning sporadic efforts into an autopilot symphony of achievement. Map your day holistically. Mornings, post-ritual, for deep creation. Tackle high-leverage tasks like writing or strategizing when willpower peaks. Afternoons for execution. Meetings, errands, collaborative work, fueled by momentum. Evenings for reflection. Wind down with gratitude journaling, light reading, or a tech-free unwind, priming restorative sleep. Intersperse rest as non-negotiable. Micro breaks via the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes work, 5 rest, or a full Sabbath weekly. Burnout lurks as endurance's saboteur. Counter it with boundaries, like no emails post 8 p.m. Quarterly, audit and refine. Life seasons shift. What served in January may need Q2 tweaks. This structure minimizes decision fatigue, as Charles Duhigg explores in The Power of Habit, where keystones like exercise cue chains of productivity. In 6 months, chaos yields to harmony. Days hum with purpose, not frenzy. Example: author Cal Newport's routine birthed deep work, crediting blocks for prolific output. Your action: sketch a draft routine tonight. What's your anchor habit? Share below. As we conclude this odyssey, pause and reflect. The 6 months ahead aren't a vague promise. They're a canvas yours to paint with audacious strokes. Permission? Unnecessary. Perfection? And illusion. Today, select one strategy. Perhaps your North Star or morning ritual. Write those goals. Set that alarm. The chasm between current you and aspirational you isn't bridged by time alone, but by the deliberate actions you ignite now. You've absorbed the blueprint. The mortar and trowel are in your hands. Build the life that echoes your deepest yes. If this stirred something within, like, subscribe for more frameworks, and in the comments, declare your first step. We're in this collective ascent, together, unstoppable. Thank you for investing your time. Until next time, onward.